How did Mordekaiser conquer the world? Why does he want to return? And can anyone actually beat him? Before Mordekaiser was known as Mordekaiser, he was known as San Uzul. Dude was one of the most feared warlords in the northern parts of Runeterra, conquering countless tribes and places so that he can earn his place in the Hall of Bones and sit with the gods. His conquest led to lots of bloodshed, and one day he even attracted a specific demon known as Atakan. Atakan attacked the camp San Uzal was staying at and is able to kill Katash Lee, who was San's most trusted general. This infuriates San, so much so that he has a 1v1 with Atakan and absolutely bitch slaps him. And San does not give up on the death of his beloved general. He tasks his sorcerers to use dark magic to bind Katash's helmet to the demon Atakan. And side note, the magic the sorcerers use is the same magic Zoe teaches people to bind the darkens to weapons. Anyways, after San gets back a demon version of his friend Katash, dude goes even further in conquering the world. Eventually, San literally conquers everything he wants. He is convinced that he has earned his place in the Hall of Bones. So when he dies and passes into the afterlife, he finds out that it was all a lie. There is no such thing as the Hall of Bones. And okay, you see, a normal person would accept death and move on, but San is literally built differently and rejects death. Like, dude is in a grey, barren wasteland and begins to learn a language known as Oknun, which allows him to speak to the dead and forge a plan to return back to Runeterra. The plan is actually kinda smart. He starts whispering to people in the real world that if they summon San Uzal back, they could potentially control him and conquer the world the way he did. And obviously, this plan is what happens. As centuries later, he is summoned and bound into a massive suit of armor by some sorcerers who wanted to use his power. However, the summoning to control him fails as they needed to know his new name, which in Oknun is Mordekaiser. After failing, Mordekaiser gains control of himself and slaps everyone. Now he is hungry to conquer the world again, especially as the Hall of Bones did not exist, so now he wants to create it in Runeterra. Oh, and yeah, this time, dude also has necromantic magic. With his new magic, Mordekaiser's power grows even further. He begins raising the dead to fight for him as his soldiers. Even Atakan, the demon he defeated a long time ago, is dragged back into existence as one of these undead servants. Over time, Mordekaiser's control over death and demons expands. He eventually binds a fire demon named Tibok into his service, adding even more raw destructive force to his growing army. Alongside these creatures, Mordekaiser gathers a circle of acolytes, sorcerers and followers who are fully devoted to listening to whatever he says without question. And at some point during his reign, he also captures the Yordle Viger and basically imprisons him within his army. And through crazy torture and manipulation, he breaks Viger's mind and forces him into being his personal bitch, which ultimately twisted Viger's knowledge of magic into nothing but doing Mordekaiser's evil shit. So, with undead warriors, demons and corrupted sorcerers all under his control, Mordekaiser builds an empire that lasts for generations, crushing anyone who opposes him. And at the center of his empire, he constructs the Immortal Bastion, which is a colossal fortress serving as a symbol of his dominance. However, after many years of his rule, one of the acolytes in his own inner circle, LeBlanc, betrays him. She joins forces with the Hemomancer Vladimir and unites the Noxie tribes in a plot to steal Mordekaiser away, claiming his fortress, the Immortal Bastion. And she succeeds. But what LeBlanc doesn't know is that this betrayal was exactly what Mordekaiser expected. His second death does not send him back to the empty wasteland he first escaped from. Instead, he awakens within a different world which is built from the souls he consumed during his second rise to power. This afterworld, which he names Mitna Rakhnun, becomes his eternal kingdom, where he rules over the undying as their master and creator. As of right now, all we know about Mordekaiser is that he is wanting to return from Mitna Rakhnun. And I can't lie, it is wild that he allows for him to get sealed. He is just built differently. LeBlanc is also aware of the potential of this crazy warlord. So even after 1000 years, she is still prepping for his return, as she knows when he is back, it will not be good for anyone. So the big question is, can anyone actually beat Mordekaiser? From recent lore, we know that LeBlanc has control of Atakan, but the dude would get ruined by Mord's return. However, she is attempting to control a Darking called Zehen. Granted, she failed and instead Zehen returns taking over Xinjiao, but I reckon she wanted to use Zehen against Mordekaiser's return. The only people who I believe can beat Mordekaiser are Zoe, Bard, Fiddle, Aurelian and Kindred. I mean, each of these people are gods or demons. None of this is confirmed, just that these 5 people are incredibly strong. I mean, Kindred is literally the god of death.